Welcome to Visionary Voices. This podcast aims to explore the stories of my friends who are blind or visually impaired from their perspective. Feel free, if you wish, to grab your beverage of choice, sit back, relax, and enjoy the stimulating conversation. Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of Visionary Voices. My name is Jessica Dale, and my guest is Aaron Richmond. Aaron, go ahead and give listeners a brief intro, if you would.
My name is Aaron Richmond. Yes, Jessica is right. I am the host of Aaron's Opinion. Aaron's Opinion is the podcast for blind people, where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all other issues from across the universe and galaxy. Anyway, I'm 33 years old. I'm a teacher. I teach English as a second language. I'm also a French speaker. And in my free time, I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos and recording podcast episodes like this one and recording my own podcast. That's me.
You and I are both ham radio operators. That's actually how we met.
You're correct.
So go ahead and talk about that for a minute if you want.
I'm not as active in ham radio as I once was, but yes, you are right. Jessica and I are both hams. My father was a ham, and now I am a ham. So that is accurate, and that is true. There are many blind hams from all over the world, and Jessica is very knowledgeable, incredibly knowledgeable, and always ready to help people get into that hobby. It's a great hobby for sure.
Absolutely. Can you share your journey and what inspired you to become an advocate for the visually impaired community?
My journey has been a journey of basically proving people wrong and basically, as I would say, going about my business and being a successful person. I've been through a lot, through getting educated properly, going through university, things like that. If the listener wants to know why I created Aaron's Opinion, I created Aaron's Opinion because there needs to be a place where blind people from all over the world can come up to my microphone and share their stories. And Aaron's Opinion is the place for that. And I have a real problem and a real issue where there's a lot of podcasts around the blindness space, but not all of them are open to people's opinions. And we need to create an environment where people's opinions are very open and very welcome. And that's kind of my journey and how I got into the podcast space. Yeah.
That's great. What are some of your biggest challenges? What are some of the biggest challenges you've faced as a visually impaired person, and how have you overcome them?
I mean, the biggest challenge that we talk about all the time in the community is society's unwillingness and ignorance to accept us into society. I was speaking with a man on my show just earlier today about this. And he's a French guy. He's from France, and he was saying the same thing. How, he's noticed how there's a lot of discrimination and a lot of ignorance. And I think that people will always be discriminatory because, as I'll tell anyone, discrimination is a natural thing. We're naturally, as people, we're supposed to be able to discriminate. That's a survival skill. But the thing that is very, very perpetuating these days is the level of ignorance and lack of knowledge and education that I'm seeing around the community.
That is true. How has technology impacted your life, and are there any specific tools or devices that have been particularly helpful?
Technology has impacted my life because when you think about it, look, Apple has been the tool that has connected blind people to the world. Before Apple, it was everything was harder before Apple. I would say that podcasting, the art of podcasting and broadcasting, is a lot easier now than ever. So it's very easy to create a podcast and to get into your studio space and to create a great episode. It's a very, very easy thing now. And in years past, it was a lot harder. So I think technology has helped us to be able to have a voice much more quickly and much more easily.
Absolutely. I mean, granted, I'm recording this as a call on my cell phone. And I never thought it would be that easy, but it is.
Right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about a memorable experience or achievement that you're particularly proud of?
I mean, I'm really proud of my podcast, and I'm proud of it because Aaron's opinion has clearly helped a lot of people around the world. Clearly, around the world, people enjoy what we do. So I'm seeing that there's a need and an enjoyment for the podcast. So that's a very strong achievement, is that people seem to really respond well to it overwhelmingly.
Yes, that's great. I'm glad you've had so much success with that. What advice would you give to someone who is newly diagnosed with a visual impairment?
I would advise that person to do several things, one of which is to seek appropriate medical attention from a reputable doctor. That is a huge thing. The second thing is to access the correct knowledge about your condition after diagnosis. And the third thing would be to make connections around the blindness space, to speak with other like-minded individuals, to make sure that that you're talking to the right people who are truly going to be able to help you. That's the advice I have.
Yes, those are great points. And I would just add to that, connect to something like the ACB or NFB because they can help you as well.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
How do you stay motivated and maintain a positive mindset despite the challenges you face?
I stay motivated mainly because I've decided in my life, particularly within the last couple of years, I've decided in my life that being motivated is the only choice, that there's not really any other choice, that my life is not going to change that much anyway. So I might as well just go about my business and just be a successful person and not worry about the several big, huge things that did in fact happen to me in the past. But the fact is, I'm just going to stay motivated, and I'm just going to go about my business and not concern myself with other things.
Absolutely. What changes would you like to see in society to better support visually impaired individuals?
Well, I think what needs to happen really is I wish that more people would listen to your podcast, because your podcast is a lot of knowledge. I really have noticed the lack of knowledge. I mean, you and I are knowledgeable, that's fine, but I have noticed that there are many, many, many people around society who are not equipped with the knowledge and tools to be able to help themselves. And that is very disturbing and very troubling to me, that there are so many people that are not knowledgeable.
Yeah, that is quite sad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you discuss any projects or initiatives you're currently working on that aim to improve the lives of visually impaired people?
Aaron's Opinion does that. Each episode is packed with knowledge and great stories to help anyone, really, whether you're blind or not. So that's my mission right now, is Aaron's Opinion.
That's amazing. How can people without visual impairments become better allies and supporters of the visually impaired community?
Yeah, this is an important question, and I know you know that it's important. That's why you asked. But I do want to say here that quite frankly, I do take offense when sighted people go out of their way to inappropriately help blind people by paying for things in stores and restaurants. That's happened, and it's not okay. And there's a lot of different answers and philosophies about that, but the fact is, it offends me when it happens to me. So I think that there is a right way and a wrong way. And Jessica, I'm going to say something that you're probably not going to agree with what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, which is this: that I quite frankly think that sighted people do not necessarily need to give money to blind people, whether it's NFB, ACB, AFB, whatever. I think that that's not really their business. I think that to me is, in my own opinion, that's sort of getting involved in things that really don't apply to them, and it's not really their business to do that. Do I object 1,000% if some sighted person wants to give, once a year around the holidays, $500 to support one of those organizations that helps us blind people? Yeah, that's fine, but I don't really think that that's necessarily the most appropriate thing. I think that the most appropriate way that sighted people could get involved is A, join a Lions Club. That's always the right thing. B, listen to our podcast, because knowledge is definitely the right choice. So anything that a sighted person can do to be knowledgeable about something and to have information, that's what I would prefer. Rather than money, I'd rather them give us knowledge and be knowledgeable people. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. What are your hopes and aspirations for the future, both personally and for the visually impaired community as a whole?
Personally, my aspiration is to keep uploading podcast episodes because it makes me happy. I love doing it. For the blindness community, I would like to see a better attitude. And what I mean is, I don't necessarily mean an attitude adjustment, but I would like to see around the community a little bit more kindness and a little bit more friendliness around the community. And the fact is that our blindness community has people from all walks of life. And I am noticing that there's a lot of rifts around the community, and I would like to see people working harder to overcome those rifts and obstacles so we can all come together and talk. That's what I would really like to see.
Absolutely. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment and why?
My greatest accomplishment is I continue to upload podcast episodes. This is my greatest accomplishment because most people don't have the patience to keep uploading episodes and spreading knowledge.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Always welcome.
Is there any contact information you would like to provide in case our listeners want to get in touch with you?
Click the link in the description. I'll send you my blurb. There's like 10 different plugs that I like to give the public. So I'll send you my blurb.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Okay. Yes, exactly.